Just last week, it was reported that Paul Bernardo was transferred to a medium security prison. Conservatives brought a unanimous consent motion calling for an immediate return of this brutal serial rapist and killer to a maximum security prison. We were shouted down by the Liberal member from Kingston and the Islands. They made their intentions clear then. They've decided to defend one of the most disgusting men in Canadian history rather than his female victims and their families. This is misogyny, Mr. Speaker. And when the Liberals vote against C311, they will be voting against women and against choice. They will be once again protecting violent men, not vulnerable women. Conservatives are on the side of women and of victims. Thank you.
Hear, hear. I believe you have a point of order from the Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the member attributed something that I apparently did yesterday, I think she said. I certainly did not do that. The member might want to reflect on that, and the next time before she goes and makes accusations, she might want to know what she's talking about.
That is descending into a fair amount of the debate this evening, but maybe on that same point of order, the Honourable Member for South Surrey White Rock.
Speaker, I was in the House when the unanimous consent motion was called. That member said no. I rarely make a mistake about what that member does.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, it was not me that said no. Perhaps this member should apologize, Mr. Speaker, because she is lying right now.
Is a what? All right. The Honourable Member for South Surrey White Rock.
Speaker, that member, just called me a liar in this House. That is, and then walked out. Oh, he's back. That is not only unparliamentary language. We can all check Hansard and see what happened, but he has the floor. Mr. Speaker, I have the floor, and that this member is shouting over me when I have the floor is also unparliamentary. It's a disgrace.
Okay. The Honourable Member for Kingston and the Islands.
Mr. Speaker, I apologize for saying that the member was lying. What the member is saying is not true. She should check Hansard before she makes that accusation in this House, because what she is saying is simply and categorically false.
Okay, whoa. The Honourable Whip for the Opposition.
Just turned to me, made a face, and gave the finger to me. I don't even know how you categorize that in the House of Commons. To all of us, and specifically to me. That member should be sanctioned in the strongest possible terms. He should be thrown out of this House, Mr. Speaker.
I'm going to take a break for a second here, and I'm going to consult. Okay, what we're going to do, because I was just consulting with the table officer, so I did not see what is being said has been happened. What I'm going to do is review the videotapes, because cameras are on all the time, so we will review those cameras. I'm sure we will go back and look at it. I will remind people that we are in the House of Commons, and we should respect each other at all times, even though we disagree vehemently sometimes on issues that were before us. And to accuse and to maybe flip the bird or give the finger is probably something that should not be seen in this House at any time. I believe I'm going to go to the Honourable Member for Vancouver Kingsway, and then I'll go back to the Honourable Whip.
Mr. Speaker, I just want to say that I was coming into the chamber right at that moment, and I can tell you I did see the member from Kingston make an objectionable sign to the opposition with his finger.
Okay, the Honourable Member for Prince George, Peace River, Northern Rockies.
Yes, Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I clearly saw the member from Kingston and the Islands gave the finger, which is a symbol for a very specific phrase. Again, I would agree with my colleague that an apology is in order. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Since I can't ask someone to do something that might not be here, so I will go back and review it. Well, all right. How about this? How about this? Maybe we go back on to the item that we're supposed to be dealing with. We're going to go back and look at that video. We'll take in consideration the things that we heard, and then we'll come up with a response as soon as possible. So next on our speaking list was the honourable member for Brampton South.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I rise to speak to Bill C-311, introduced by the Conservative member for Yorkton Melville. I'm proud to stand with my NDP and Bloc colleagues and with Canadian women across our great country in opposition.
Before we really get started, I apologize. I know the honourable member for Kingston Islands wants to stand on something.
Mr. Speaker, I do apologize for the frustration that I exhibited in the last few moments, but I want to reiterate that it was not me. Thank you.
It's not. I'm going to go back and look and see exactly what happens. Listen. Either we admit to doing something in the chamber, and we unreservedly apologize. The honourable member of Kingston Islands.
I admit that what the members are indicating that I did do, and I unreservedly apologize for displaying my frustration that way.